Welcome to SpouseTales podcast. You really can't make this stuff up. Bringing you truth, solutions, and innovative ideas to some of the most controversial and overlooked questions inside the practice and out. Hello to our creator and co-host, Joanne Majors, CSP, published author, certified speaking professional, joined by her co-host, Kathy Signo.
Hello, I'm Joanne Majors, and welcome to another episode of SpouseTales.
Hello, I'm Kathy Signo, and one thing we know for sure is that you cannot make this stuff up.
Nope, you sure can't. So we are having some amazing time just being able, Kathy, you and I have been talking about this. We're just glad to be able to get back and start some of these. As you know, or as most people know, we keep them short and compact, and we interview people who have interesting stories and things that make a difference to those of us really still connected to a practice. So we are thrilled today to have our favorite, most brilliant medical dental biller in our industry and beyond, Christine Taxin, who's with us today. Christine,
well,
hello.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited.
We're so excited you're here. And, you know, one of the things, you know, Christine in her own right has, and I've talked about this a lot. We shared a lot about this. You know, I have my own business and I'm still affiliated with the practice, and we do these things. And, you know, it had a huge effect on both of us. One of the things that's interesting, people know you for Links to Success and dentalmedicalbilling.com. They know you for those things. But what some people may not know is that you're actually married to a practicing dentist in, let's say it out loud, Westchester County, New York.
That's right.
So,
New York, baby. New York.
You guys have been literally kind of later. I mean, you're one of the later groups to go back into practice, right?
Yep. We're one of the first to stop and one of the last to go back. So It's been a long call.
It really has, hasn't it?
Yes, it really has. I mean, it was a very unsettling time because both of us were pretty much out of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, it's very difficult when poof, cut. And you're still running home and, you know, other things. So it was a tough time.
It has been tough. And I think admitting it is a huge piece of it. I think that when we Christine, you and I talked a couple of times about this, and I think that there's sometimes a perception, right? Because those that do know us and know that we do these other things outside of dentistry, but we're married to a dentist, so probably we don't necessarily have to make an income. And the truth is, we love sharing and caring for our family. We work like most Americans do. They get up, they go to work so they can be, do, have. They be wherever they are. They do what they need to do to have what they want.
Right.
We've all learned to live with a little less. But one of the things that's interesting that we talked about earlier today with somebody, Kathy, we were talking about, like, they're talking about, you know, like with our practices, we're back to, a lot of us are 50% capacity because of the way that you can't have more than so many people and the way you have to onboard them. So there are a lot of businesses we talk about, and you guys have been hit especially hard with restaurants. There are a lot of businesses that if they're at 50% or even 75% capacity, they'll go broke.
Yeah.
A lot of our businesses were made to have that hammer and double hygiene department and these other things. And so everything's different right now. But Christine, I'd be interested to know from you, one of the questions that we've loved is, what's something you learned either about yourself, about you and your spouse, or about your team? What's something that you learned through this?
You know, I did learn, my husband and I are truly in love because we were able to live together without traveling. Because we travel, right? And they're home working, which was really great. And we really made sure that we spent that time together, a lot of it, collaborating and coming up with ways to make it. We also stayed in touch with our team's members throughout it, making sure their families were okay and healthy. And of course, my computer became my favorite place because I was able to FaceTime my children. I mean, we have 5 kids. So, you know, 5 children, 4 daughter-in-laws, grandkids, and you really realize how much you miss your family.
Yeah.
Also. So at least we were able to connect together. And then really, it was a very sad day when my son graduated dental school, and not in a ceremony, and his dad couldn't hand him his diploma, which is normal when your father or mother is a dentist and you graduate. You get to hand them their diploma, and we didn't get to do any of that. So my son actually has his diploma mailed here, and whenever we are able to see them, we're going to have a big family gathering, and Paul hand him his diploma. So that was I would say the hardest thing for us, was missing that experience. I mean, he worked hard for a long time.
A lifetime for it. He's worked his lifetime for it.
Yeah, and I mean, that was difficult, and we're still not allowed to go to Virginia. So because his wife is in the government, and she's not allowed to be around anybody from 13 states because they can't afford to lose more workers.
And New York's one of them, I'm sure.
And New York is, we're right at the top. I can't see my grandson in Florida. I can't see my son in Virginia, which is banned from everywhere. So it's kind of, that's difficult, because usually we just pick up and go.
Yeah.
We have no babies anymore. So what's stopping us? And this coronavirus put a whole change in that respect.
Yeah, it did.
But we did spend a lot of time getting ready for Paul's opening. I did spend much more time teaching online. And a lot of the doctors, Joanne, were really smart in how they utilized this time, including their teams, taking courses and training, and really, I could see that they were really happy that their doctors spent some of this time making sure they could be together, and even just this learning experience online.
I think that, we both are certified to offer CE. And I think one of the things for me that was, it was great. Don't misunderstand me. It was great. I mean, I have an online platform with a lot of doctors with subscriptions, and I paused all the subscriptions. I had one person reach out, but being married to a dentist, I knew what was happening. And it was, I remember talking to Kathy about it. It's like, I prayed about it and I thought about it. And it's like, you know what? I can't do what I see happening to my husband, right? I mean, I got to do this. And so we paused all those payments. But what I think about is all those people that offered free CE, although I think it was great, and I did a ton of it myself, so did you, it's like, it didn't help us as our businesses are coming back, because that's part of the reason that people would hire people like you and I, and Kathy, the reason we get things through, our courses and everything is because, we could offer CE. So I think I hear that a lot. It's been a little bit of a stumbling block.
Well, I think we have to think about this. In October, they have to start all over again.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I mean, I just got canceled from the prosthodontist meeting in the end of September. They just canceled it. I really don't see major meetings coming back. So I'm doing my first ever 16-hour course online, hands-on. So we're going to, we limited the people, but they're filling out forms. They're going to fill out forms. They're going to learn how to do it right. We're going to talk about cases. And you know what? I think people are so leery about travel yet.
Oh,
yeah. They're doing it.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And I do think they appreciated the free CEs, but I don't think they would have did it only for the free CEs. I think a lot of people did it because they didn't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah. One day I counted, and Chuck had, I think I told you this, Chuck had like 48 emails for free courses in one day. And I was like, but he did a lot of it. It's like, you got somebody that's been practicing 38 years this summer, and the guy did a ton of CE during that time. So for some people, like, those kind of people, and Kathy, I always say I'm a lot like Tony and you're a lot like Chuck.
Yes.
You took this course that was how long?
Oh yeah, it was a 6-week course. It was an emotional intelligence reboot. That was a 6-week course during this time. And it was amazing. And it was offered for virtually I mean, $100 or something. I mean, it was such a nominal fee.
Yeah.
But I think, Christine, that the people like you that are willing, and like Joanne, that are willing to give up their time during something like this, people don't forget that.
Yeah.
No, I agree with
You have you have a love for what you do, and you're there to help. And Joanne has said, you know, if I can help someone else, it kind of takes my mind off of my problems when I can focus on giving back to somebody
and
else.
I think that's why so many people did. I mean, my own husband is like Chuck. They're obsessed with treatment and the best treatment. And he took a hands-on sleep apnea course online. Not only because he does sleep apnea, but they came up with a brilliant way of him being able to treat sleep apnea patients using teledentistry.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So that was pretty amazing. So, you know, I think it pushed a lot of us into realizing, wow, we are pretty damn smart. We could do a lot of things that we didn't know we could do.
Yeah.
That's what I see out of it. I mean, I take that as a positive. I mean, don't get me wrong. I cannot wait to go back out into the public because I'm a people person and I miss the world.
Yeah.
I miss the speakers. I miss the students. I miss the doc. I miss all of it, the excitement of a meeting.
Sure.
So that I miss. But I do think it kept me sane teaching.
The energy, you can't replace the energy in a room. However, I will say, you know, I mean, like I had a couple of really big things that I lost, and your big extravaganza is always in October. So, I mean, you know, we're all feeling it. But I was thinking the other day when somebody asked me about this webinar, and for those people listening, I don't mean to sound haughty or anything like that, but there's a lot that goes into a preparation for a 1-day or a 2-day seminar. And so when I've done those, you know, the fee was what I feel is a fair fee, but there was a lot that went into it, right? And so now the fee that we get, if we get a fee, the fee that we get for online stuff is totally different. But I was thinking about something yesterday, and I was thinking about Chuck saying, well, I'd love to be able to do same-day dentistry and just move them over and do the crown. But he said, look what's going to happen right here. And I don't know if we can have all those patients share. So it's like, it's not just me that's taking less. They're taking less because they can't operate at that same capacity. I mean, Kathy, we've talked about with you guys with ortho.
Oh yeah, we've had to completely, this month, all ortho was moved out of our schedule, and he's working Fridays, which he's never worked before, strictly for those ortho patients because we have to have a limited capacity on a day-to-day basis. And so we've all had to become flexible and become more adaptive. We have to be adaptive to change because this is a different time, and we you know, how we did it before is not how it may look moving forward. So Christine, I have a question for you. What's something, whether it's technology or something you've learned, that you're going to take with you moving forward into these next 6 months?
You know, talking about flexibility, I mean, I was not really a computer, virtual Zoom or podcast or anything. And I've really learned to embrace it because I was forced to.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's given me something to say to my students also. Because people are reluctant to do certain changes. And because it's different and it's more work in the beginning. And I let them know, listen, you got through probably one of the hardest times in our country. Right? It was like our country was at war. And we were all hidden away. And if you could do that and be sane, then you could learn anything if you put your mind to it. Because everybody had to adjust somehow, from the little kids to the oldest. I mean, kids are now learning online, and they haven't ever done that. I mean, I had, you know, and parents are the teachers.
That's exactly right. I'm going to tell you something.
And that's the hard.
I'm happy this didn't happen with me because one of us would have not made it. I'm just saying.
Well, I would have never made it. I probably would have killed one of my kids. They're very happy they're all adults, and I was not in charge of their education.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that my kids are asking if they get to pick their teacher again next year because they want to put a request in for somebody different because they don't want their mom again.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think kids are really, going to love going back to school. And I mean, really, not that many kids love school on a normal basis, but I think you're ready.
Others or the people teaching them. So it's like, I think, and get back.
Everybody's going to be happy when schools reopen.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. Well, so before we part, tell me something. I know this was Dr. Paul's first week back. Tell me something that happened that gave you hope.
Oh, wow. Our patients have been amazing, and we're very busy, which is shocking to me that people are ready to come out and go into the dental office, but they are. Our hygienist is great, and she's back. We're not using what we call a front desk person. We're not doing that. We're doing everything we can by text messaging, check in in the parking lot, filling out all the forms, and people are compliant. That's what I'm saying. They're not saying, I don't know how to do it or I can't do it. They're doing it.
Yeah.
And the age gap is huge, right?
That's exactly right. Kathy and I did a whole podcast on this. For us, a lot of the stuff we did with Weave, a lot of the, we have a 14-day call to say, this is what's going to happen. On the 7th day, you're going to get this text, and on 4 days out, you get this, and 2 days out. We don't want you to think we're just bombarding you, but this is the easiest way, for us to be able to
reopen, because then the doctor and the hygienist and the assistant are concentrating on what they need to do, which is keeping the rooms clean. You can't clean the room for 15 minutes, which that's so different. Because most assistants walk the patient out and they're back in the room cleaning it for the next person, and they can't do that. So they are switching rooms to give the assistant time. Yeah. And all the supplies. I mean, my husband said maybe he'll lose weight because he's sweating.
That's what Chuck said. We literally
the mask and the thing and the shield and the jacket.
We added to our checklist, Christine, on this 14-day call. You'll notice that because of the gowns and the double mask and the shield and the, Chuck wears loops.
Like you're just dripping.
He said, y'all have got to start telling these people. And so now on the 14-day out call, we remind them that they need to bring a jacket or a wrap, because if you come off this call before, you're going to think it's a refrigerator, because they get so hot. And so. Yeah,
because they're dying in all of this equipment. And he said, well, if anything positive comes out of it, I'll lose weight.
I know. That's right. That's right.
So that's this week's big topic. He's going to lose weight. Okay.
I'm thinking about bringing one of those plastic gowns home. No, I'm kidding. Well, I really appreciate you taking time with us. And we want to remind people that you have an amazing service. If you're somebody who's struggled with, should I bill medical or not bill medical? Christine Taxin is the one. She can help you. And she has 2 websites. One is dentalmedicalbilling.com, and the other is linkstosuccess.biz, B-I-Z. And find her either way. She is amazing. One of our favorites. I don't know about her accent. People tell me I have an accent, but I love to be on the phone with Christine, because now it's Christine's accent, my accent, and Kathy, come on, give us one of those traditional Wisconsin things that I pick at you on.
A? Is it the A? No, it's the long O. When people say Wisconsin, we say Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, right. Yeah. Okay. So,
well, we all have our own little accent. People actually, when you live in New York, we all know you come from Long Island, you come from Brooklyn, because our accents are that different.
Isn't that crazy?
Even within the boroughs.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Well,
I love you ladies. I can't wait to do the next insurance extravaganza again and have you back, or both of you. And it was tough this year to make the decision just to not do it, but I'm glad I did do that, because I would have been canceling.
Right. Well, and we have to help and preserve, and people watch us, as leaders, people are watching us. And I don't think, I'm like you, Christine, I don't think the big meetings are coming back right away. I mean, I think we have to be weary. We have to understand what's happening, and we cannot take it for granted, because we're going to be in the fall. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not lining up to be the first person for that vaccine.
No, I'm not going for it.
I'm not doing it.
I'm too old. I'm not doing it. You know what? I'm still alive. I'm okay. I don't need any other issues. You know, your time's going to come anyway, so I'm not doing it.
Listen, it's been great to have you. Kathy, what would you
It's been great to have you both, and I can't wait to have you on my show.
I can't
So
wait.
let me know when you're coming, because you could do leadership skills for me
Yeah.
and my group of doctors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Kathy,
and
what would you-
congratulations. Congratulations to your family on your son's graduation.
Thank you so much.
You know what? Be sure to share pictures when Paul hands him that diploma. Make sure that you capture that so you can share it with all of us.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I appreciate being a spouse on
That's
Spouse.
exactly right.
I love it.
You know, thank you and shout out to Care Credit. We've Dental Entrepreneur Woman Do Life for helping us, you know, stay on the air. So we
And
appreciate.
we are strong women.
That's exactly right.
Right, girls? We are very
Right.
strong.
That's right. Okay.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of SpouseTales. We ask you to consider our podcast sponsors when you need solutions, and we look forward to seeing you on the road. Signing off live from Aggieland, this is Mel on Air.